And welcome to another edition of Dux Knows Sports. This week, previewing Week 5 NFL. Can't believe it's already Week 5 NFL. Just feels like it's already started, and we're already a quarter way through the NFL season. Of course, bye weeks this week. We got the Miami Dolphins and the Oakland Raiders. Interesting week in Oakland as they're firing their coach and bringing in Tony Serrano as their new head coach. That should be an interesting hire. Good to see Tony Serrano. I always thought he was a good coach with the Dolphins. Good to see him get a second shot in the NFL. But off to this week's previews in the NFL as I start with the Thursday night, which is the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers. Start with Green Bay here. Green Bay Packers first couple weeks have been struggling offensively, but last week did they turn around by really putting a whooping on the Chicago Bears. Should be interesting with Green Bay moving forward, as if this offense can continue to produce the way it did, the Green Bay Packers be okay. I mean, I thought they were in trouble. I really liked Chicago Bears going into the season to win the North, but the Packers play the way they did last week. Then I think the Green Bay Packers have a legitimate shot to win the NFC North, and it just shows you how good Aaron Rodgers is. Losing all his weapons through the years. Jennings, Jones. Still has Nelson, losing his tight end friendly, but still showing that he is the constant in that offense. Starting to run the ball a little bit more with Lacey there, but really showing Green Bay a total offense and really showing they are maybe not as good as offense have been over the last couple seasons, but still you still have Aaron Rodgers, still very good offense. And I think if the Green Bay Packers keep this up, they will be right up there in the NFC this year. And the other team they're taking on is the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, Minnesota starting a rookie quarterback, a rookie running back this week, and wow, did they play well last week against an Atlanta Falcon team who's very shaky at best. That being said, though, Minnesota Vikings, Teddy Bridgewater looked very good last week. Very good down the field, very good throws. Teddy Bridgewater might be for real, but only one game, you never know. We'll see how he does consistently in the NFL, but the Minnesota Vikings looking very well, besides the fact they still don't have Adrian Peterson, still, of course, suspended for his horrendous acts about beating his child. And can they survive without AP? Because I don't think they're going to have AP for a very, very long time. I don't think he'll be playing at all this season, and they'll have to overcome with this. And they got a good stud rookie running back in Matt Miskez. Really played well last week against the Atlanta Falcons, scoring about 3 touchdowns. It's been really consistent this last 2 games in the lineup, and I think just scratch and claw. Maybe the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe it doesn't look pretty every week, but I think the Minnesota Vikings, if they can play the way they did last week, will have a shot at the playoffs. But I don't think they win this week, as I like the Green Bay Packers to continue their offense to roll, and I like the Green Bay Packers to win this week by a touchdown. Moving on to the Sunday night, of course, is the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New England Patriots. Let's start with New England. What's wrong with the Patriots? The last 10 years have been the most consistent team in the NFL, and it just seems this year, it seems like it's all starting to fall apart. I mean, their offense can't run. Tom Brady is having maybe his worst season in maybe ever. And it just goes to prove, man, not everything lasts forever, and you start to see New England. Maybe things are starting to turn around for New England, and not in the good way, as it looks like maybe their run as dominance could be over. But hey, they still got a shot because you are in the AFC East, and nobody there in that division really scares me. Miami certainly doesn't scare me. Buffalo, no. The Jets, maybe, but nobody really scares me in the East, so I still think the Pats have a shot. But they'll have to turn around. Offensively, they'll have to turn around. Tom Brady will have to start playing more consistently. It seems weird because he's probably the best quarterback in the NFL, but he'll have to play a little better. And for them to make the playoffs this year and to win this week, he'll have to play better because they're playing a team, the Cincinnati Bengals, are, boy, are they good. Like, how good are Cincinnati Bengals? Maybe the best team in the AFC. Andy Dalton's playing like an MVP type. To run the football with Bernard, and this defense, top 3, maybe the best defense in the league. Man, Cincinnati Bengals playing really well. And are they the best team in the AFC? I think they are the best team in the AFC because I really love the Cincinnati Bengals this year. And I think if they can continue to roll, they'll be in the Super Bowl. And I think they continue to roll this week, as I believe the Cincinnati Bengals beat the New England Patriots by 2 touchdowns. Okay, and our next game is the Monday Nighter. Of course, it's the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Washington Redskins. Start with Seattle. Man, after a questionable week 2, questionable week 2, they came back in week 3 against the Denver Broncos in week 3, and really left the whooping and really showed they are the best team in the AFC. I mean, really showing against a really good Denver Broncos team. It was a tight game, but the Seattle Seahawks always find a way to win, and that's what I love about the Seattle Seahawks, and that's why I think they're the team to beat. Let's face it, they're defending champions, and they're the team to beat. The road goes through Seattle in the NFC, and think about all the great weapons. You know, Percy Harvin's playing well. You got Russell Wilson. You got Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. You know, so many other great receivers. You got a defense, and if you got a defense, you got a chance. Maybe their defense hasn't played as great as they did last year, but they're still playing very well this year, and I really like the Seattle Seahawks continue their dominance, especially this week, because they're playing a team, the Washington Redskins. So let's face it, they are terrible. They're playing so bad. They're playing first overall pick bad this year. I mean, you think about RG3 going out. Who knows how long he'll be back, and Kirk Cousins. When he finally gets a chance to start a few games, you can see maybe he's just not the replacement for RG3 that everybody thought he would last week. Just playing terrible against the New York Giants. And Washington Redskins, man, I think they need to tear this thing down. Maybe get rid of RG3, move on, get the first pick in the draft a young QB, move on, because it just ain't working. You know, Washington Redskins, it just ain't working. RG3 just can't stay on the field. Kirk Cousins looks pretty shaky since he's been in there, so maybe he's not the future. And maybe we just got to tear this thing down, rebuild, and start from fresh. And I think this won't even be close, as I believe the Seattle Seahawks this week will leave a beat down on the Washington Redskins. Okay, the rest of the games this week, I like Chicago over Carolina, Tennessee over Cleveland, Philly over St. Louis, Atlanta Falcons bounce back with the New York Giants, New Orleans bounces back and beats Tampa Bay, Dallas over Houston, Detroit over Buffalo, the Colts beat the Ravens, Pittsburgh over Jacksonville, Denver over KC, San Francisco over... Denver over Arizona, my bad. And San Francisco over KC, and San Diego over the New York Jets. Well, that's it for this week, but till next time, I'm Aaron Dux for saying I'm Dux, and I know sports. Kind of.